We have turn 2 double Titan. This hand is so rare. Oh my goodness. Ugh, definitely keeping this. I know what is going to be the catch for the opening of this video. If they fetch second island and play Blood Moon here, I'll feel so gratified. Oh no. Oh my. No way. Oh my gosh, and we played around it. Hello and welcome, guys. Those of you on YouTube, everybody here in the Twitch chat at the moment. We are here to get started with a new league, another live league with Amulet. I figured I was going to be playing some matches, so I figured why not stream it and get to chat with some friends at the same time. So here we are with the list that we're playing today. We do have Hydroid Krasis, the return of the OG, the original. You could say that I kind of came up with this tech, but I'm sure I was not the first, and I'm sure I'll not be the last. But I did kind of bring this card in the spotlight playing a Titanless Amulet deck. And in fact, I'm working on a Kahira version that plays Cultivators and Krasises and that kind of thing. And I thought about playing that today, but a little too spicy for my taste. So if that's something you want to see, then let me know. But yeah, I think that we've got everything just set up and ready to get underway. So I'm just going to go ahead and get match 1 started here. I will see you guys in the games. And it looks like we have been paired for the beginning of the league here. Definitely want to be on the play, of course. These cards are tiny. This is what happens when the MTGO client moves to a new company. Everything is messed up. Well, we have a little bit of ramp. We have a bounce land. We have turn 1 Amulet. I mean, what's not to like about this? Yep. If I do specialize, I don't know. There's a couple of things that I've been interested in, but I would say the top 3 are probably surgery, emergency medicine, and family medicine, but in no particular order. But honestly, my plan just going into it was to go into general medicine, so we'll see. Okay, well, we are going to... I mean, we could try to explore and spike a land, but I think it's probably better to just get the expedition map out. Our opponent could very possibly be playing Amulet on their side of the table too, so... Let's see, so if we get bounce land, we have 2, 3, 4... Even if we were to draw a Zeus or a Titan, we wouldn't... Yeah, there's Simic Growth Chamber, by the way. Even if we were to draw a Zeus or a Titan, we still wouldn't be able to get them here, so... It would be nice to draw a bounce land so we can explore and crack map, but... Yep, I already did this math. I'll double check it real quick just to make sure. So 2, 3, 4, 5. We'd be 1 short, so... Sadly can't do anything with that. And I don't think we're necessarily supposed to explore here since we have Titan next turn guaranteed if we just pass, so I am just going to pass. We'll have 4, 5, 6, and we don't even have to Summoner's Pact to get our Titan into play. Our opponent's on kind of a slow draw here. They discarded Primeval Titan as well. I only just noticed that. That's a bold... I don't want to concede game. That is a bold prospect. I guess they have an extra Titan in hand or something. Of course, they put me, the notorious Living End player, on Living End. Tavern Naming Beast. We support that here. Is our favorite beast of all. Arboreal Grazer. Our opponent has all the bounce lands that we needed, but luckily we have the only bounce land that we realistically need, so... We get to Boseiju one of our opponent's bounce lands to put them even further away from Titan as well, so that's cool, I guess. I just realized I don't have the chat popped up. Although you guys can't see it, but in case something interesting happens, I need to know. Gotta have that chat, you know? Alright, and we'll pick a Growth Chamber hero, of course. I don't think there's any point in trying to explore here. I mean, we could potentially pick up a second Amulet, but I think we're already winning with the 1 Amulet that we have, so... There's a possibility we draw a haste land or something annoying like that, so we have 4, 5, 6 Titan. Yeah, should be good. There's a possibility that we just, like, top deck Slayer Stronghold or Boros Garrison off of an Explorer and can't haste here, and that would be annoying. Probably wouldn't even be game losing, but it would be annoying, so... Have exactly double green here. As it was always meant to be, of course. And, oh, we can just get to pick up the Boseiju here if we want to. think I do as well. I don't actually know if this deck list is playing 2 or 1 Boseiju. It's the downside of always editing the list before you play. So there should be no danger in hasting here, so we'll just go ahead and do that. Might even pick up Garrison to have bounce land in hand here, since we're not going to be casting Summoner's Pact this turn. At least I highly doubt it. I think having bounce land in hand is probably a good idea. Swing at them. And here we'll grab a green source at least. Probably another bounce land makes sense. So we can hold up Boseiju. And I guess the other one doesn't really matter that much. Do not have second Boseiju, so it's a good thing I picked this one up. Honestly, maybe just Valakut. I think I'm okay with that. And then the question is, are we supposed to Boseiju them now? Or are we supposed to wait to see if they have an Amulet? Because if they just go land Titan, I don't think that we actually care about that. Like, we only care if they have Amulet. So they could go, like, play Amulet, play bounce land, then we hit the bounce land with the Boseiju trigger on the stack. And then that makes it harder for them to get to Titan. Like, if we Boseiju now, they have 4. They could play Amulet. They would have to have, let's see, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. I think we're probably supposed to Boseiju now, because they'd have to have a lot of ramp cards plus Amulet to get there, so probably just doing that immediately, I think. We don't care about the Saga. They can get a 1/1 token. That's fine with me. Yeah, we can't explore into... I mean, I guess if we had picked up the Simic Growth Chamber instead of Boros Garrison, we could cycle some Explorers here and then Boseiju, but no reason to waste a perfectly good Explorer, so we'll just hit their bounce land and be done with it. Oh no, Saga at 2, and we win! So, in the mirror, we definitely want our extra Boseiju, we definitely want our Force of Vigors, and it's controversial, actually, but I think it was a very slow hand. I think that we probably don't want Dismember, believe it or not. I often find that if you're trying to play the kill their Dryad game, that means you're not actually trying to get out on the board yourself. And, like, sometimes they just play a Titan and double strike it and stuff, and the Dismember just does nothing. So, like, I don't know. I found it's a lot better to be proactive than to be casting Dismembers, but that's just me. I want to trim the Colossus in this matchup. I want to trim the Bog and one of the Caverns. There is some argument to trimming on Saga, or even potentially cutting it entirely, but because our opponent definitely has Force, but they might only have 2 copies. You never know. Trim and Explore, perhaps. Yeah, that hand was exceedingly slow. I was actually legit surprised when they just, like, picked up their Saga on 2 on turn 2. Especially in the mirror. Maybe that's just a mistake. It's probably better not to play a land drop and get the Amulet out than it is to do anything else. This is an interesting hand. We're definitely keeping. Force should be pretty good against them, and we get the turn 2 Dryad if we want it, assuming our Amulet doesn't get destroyed. There's an argument to not even playing Saga on 1 here, just so that we are playing around our opponent's Force. Because if we go Forest, Amulet, and then bounce land Dryad into Saga, then they can force hitting like Saga Dryad or Amulet Dryad or whatever they want to hit, and it won't really matter. It won't, like, affect us. Opponent moles to 5, by the way. There's a non-zero chance we just force pitching the Dryad to just stop our opponent from having any kind of game plan, especially on a mole to 5, so something to keep in mind as well. Of course, there's no reason to do anything during their turn, since we're going to get the extra draw and possibly draw a Grazer that we can pitch or something like that and stop in their upkeep, so... Oh, they passed through the turn. That was not expected. Taking notes. I have to assume that passing through the turn was a misclick. The question is, do we want to play around our opponent's Force or not? And I think that we're probably super far ahead here, especially considering that we're now on the play with an extra card. So, and we do the green card to pitch to Force, so... Yeah, I mean, I'm not taking any extra risks. Saga Amulet and then just getting Stone Rained and getting our ramp killed by Force, probably not where we want to be. And since we have Vesuva, we can actually leave our Growth Chamber in play here and make maximum mana development, so I think that's going to be the plan. Lost to Titan, so you want to see the Titan point of view, huh? Oh man, you've made a bad choice, because now you're going to want to switch. Once you've seen Titan, once you make that first thought, like, this deck is kind of cool, maybe I should check and see how it works, that's how it gets you, you know? It'll be over before you know it. You know what's funny is I actually used to play blue-white control as well. I literally have blue-white control with the Solitudes and the Kahira and the just all of it. I have it built, and I haven't like played it in like months. They had a force, by the way. I'm not happy about it, but I'm happy that we played around it. So played Titan before Modern Horizons, and you switch to blue-white control. Don't you know that Veil of Summer is a card? I hate Veil of Summer with a passion, by the way. What is the likelihood our opponent has second force, huh? I think it's pretty likely, actually. I'm tempted to play out Vesuva copying Simic Growth Chamber, because otherwise, like, what are they doing? Will I control Titan and Jund? It's a good mix-up. Probably the 3 decks I would choose if I were to choose 3 decks in particular. I'm very tempted to just Vesuva the Growth Chamber pick it up. Probably not the plan, though. I think we can play out Boseiju, Transmute next turn, or Hardcast Force, and then just cast Titan, like 2 turns from now, or something like that. So I'm going to go with that. All the decks fell out of favor. Rest in peace. I think Blue-White Control, out of those 3... Well, no. You mentioned Titan. Titan is definitely still good. But I think it's... The hierarchy is Titan, then Blue-White Control, then Jund. Honestly, I feel like I would have been a Jund player if I didn't see Snapcaster Mage first. So... Well, that was fast and unfortunate, and I feel bad for our opponent, but we are cruising along nonetheless, so we are now 1-0, and let's hop in here for match 2. Bolt, snap, bolt. Dude, just cut the stuff and go straight to unban Splinter Twin. I'm all for it. You don't need to say anything more. Once you say bolt, snap, bolt, I know exactly what you're talking about. We got turn 1 Saga. We've got a bunch of lands. We've got Pact. None of our lands tap for green. We can map for a green source or a bounce land or something along those lines. I don't know. I feel like we can do better than this, honestly, so I'm just going to mulligan. This hand is better. Actually, we get to go turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Explore into second Saga. That seems quite good to me. We'll keep this. And bottom Bog against our Dredge opponent and get sad. But that is how it be. Most opponents, the Valakut will be more relevant. That or we'll get absolutely punished because we have Valakut in hand and can't fetch it, but, you know, c'est la vie. Oh, don't want this upkeep stop anymore. Oh, our opponent's playing Burn. Y'all know how I feel about Burn. And suspending Riftbolt on one. That is great news for us. Having double Saga against Burn on the play is pretty good. Is there an opener that any of you guys can think of that you like more than turn 1 Inspiring Vantage? We do not have Radiant Fountain because I think that card is actually unnecessary. Here's the deck list. But I personally find that because of the card Urza Saga, we often can just kill our opponent the second we get a Titan into play, including playing around things like Deflecting Palm. So sometimes when I think a list is particularly disfavored against Burn, like playing like Karns in the main or something, I'll put Radiant Fountain in the sideboard, but honestly, I just don't like to play the card. I think we already have too many colorless sources, and Burn's a good matchup, so why are we fretting about it? Get our basic forest, explore into Saga, and now we're not even weak to Eidolon, so that's cool. This game is feeling pretty good already. We just need to find our Titan, which this Explorer is helping us do, and Soccer Tybalder would not have. Against Mono Red Blitz. Yeah, that is one matchup where I found Radiant Fountain to be pretty decent, but honestly, we're unfavored enough against Mono Red Blitz anyways that I don't think it makes a significant impact. Like, obviously the card's good in the matchup, but like, let's be honest, you're just going to get Magus or Blood Moon, and either you're going to have it or you won't, and you'll lose, or your opponent will just go turn 1 Swift Spear, turn 2 Swift Spear, bobble Mutagenic Growth, and just kill you immediately, so I don't know. I feel like playing around Mono Red Blitz is probably not the meta decision you want to make, but it also depends. Like, if there's a lot of Blitz players in your local shop, then it might be a very real idea, so. Well, we've not managed to find a Titan or Amulet or anything that has the word ramp on it, which is pretty tragic, but guess we're probably exploring here, playing land, holding up Saga. Yeah, Blitz is pretty dead. I think Blitz is one of those decks nowadays that's like not good, but everyone respects it because it's like cool, and sometimes Aspiring Spike plays some Blitz piles with like I don't know. He recently made like some sort of red-green blitz deck that I've seen running around. At least it seems like a blitz deck to me, but we'll explore here. Find Titan off the top and kill our opponent next turn. Oh, Dryad's even better. Well, I mean, it's better considering we would like to draw a Primeval Titan, but we'll definitely keep Bounce Land in hand. So if we play Growth Chamber, Dryad, Land, we can still get a token out of the deal, so I think we'll do that. Yeah, the Gruul Breach deck is, I think it's cool. Personally. We'll play Valakut. Imagine if this was Bog. You see what I'm saying? We'll make a little dude here. And, yeah. I guess, worst case scenario, we can always just use our Saga to get a map. Need to put a lot of time in Breach. Is that a deck you want to play? Where's pretty cool too. I remember, so I always hated playing against Wurza because I used to play blue-white control and I didn't know how to play against the deck. So, me and Wurza have a complicated relationship. Interesting. So, probably just going for T-West here. Does it kill fast enough? I feel like we might be losing here just because we haven't drawn a threat yet. Well, if we get second Amulet and float blue, we're not really doing anything, so I guess we just have to get map here. We can play land, land, Dryad, land after activating and still be fine, so we can activate here. I guess maybe we won't be able to... Maybe this was a mistake, because we might not be able to transmute next turn and still cast Titan. We'll have to see. We want map for sure. So we want to go Sunhome, Simic. I guess we can play, after this Dryad resolves, we can play our bounce and crack map for T-West, and then just hope we have enough mana for next turn. Wurza with Oko. Definitely going to be picking up our bounce land here. I think we have exactly enough to transmute and cast Titan this upcoming turn if our Dryads stay in play, so... Oh, I should have done this second main phase, because we could have gotten an extra point of damage, but... Well, doing it now. We'll get our T-West. Go to combat, swing for... Well, I guess actually we'll just swing for 5. See if they have mainboard Deflecting Palm to punish this attack. We could still just be dead. They just go Boros Charm, Bolt, untap, cast any 2 spells that are non-creatures. Helix. Helix is probably a better sign for us than Boros, because now they have to have exactly 2 1s and a 2 and a land, or 3 1-drops. So I think we are still winning here, but this was a little bit of a slower draw comparatively to what we usually would get. But even in this case, without Radiant Fountain, we're still just barely fast enough to beat our opponent before they kill us. So, not the case if that Helix had been a Boros Charm, though, so... Bolt, Lava Dart. Lava Dart out of burn would be quite something. I can't say that I would expect that, but it is possible, I suppose. Like, they could be playing Red-White Prowess. Some Seeker of the Way action. I'm wondering if our opponent could just be dead on board, but it doesn't really matter. So we get 3 land drops, that's 6, plus the 3 in play to transmute, and we are Gucci, so... We'll just do that. Kill our opponent. Also, we can leave one of these bounce lands in play for value, since we drew the Gruul Turf, so... I guess we'll do that. Monastery Mentor. I have not seen that one a whole lot out of Prowess, I have to admit. We'll just pick up the Sunhome here, I suppose. Wait, we have 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so that was our last land drop. Always gotta double check, you know. Scared to play? I'm assuming you mean scary to play? Yeah, I mean, Monastery Mentor, it does work. I won't deny that. And we could go with the Crumbling Vestige, but I think we actively want the bounce land in hand, assuming we're not just straight up killing our opponent here. So I am going to get the Garrison, but we'll attack, get Valakut, Vesuva Valakut, and our opponent will be hyper super dead. So, oh yeah, playing, well, I mean, if you've played Control, then you also know the upside of playing Monastery Mentor as well, I'm sure. You can't tell me you never played Monastery Mentor in your Control deck. Everybody has to have done that. Cryptic Sanctuary. I love Mystic Sanctuary. Super abusable, but I love it. And our opponent is super hyper dead. We're just casually over here chatting about Control decks and Monastery Mentor and Prowess and all this stuff, and just putting lethal on the stack like it's no big deal. Always a delight to play against Burn. Turn 5 Titan, no problem. Alright, against Burn, minimal sideboarding. We want Explosives, and we want Boseiju because it taps for green and Cavern doesn't. And I think that's about it. Oh, I guess Krasis does gain us life. I think it's a little slow, so like having one Krasis as a pack target if we are just like too slow and must gain life to not be dead, then I think that's reasonable, but other than that, I think we're good. Trim some Explorers. I think we'd even rather have the third Explorer than Krasis. The question is, do we want third Explorer or third Cavern? Because just having an extra land can be impactful. I think I'd rather have Cavern, because Cavern does not play into Eidolon, whereas Explorer does. So, yep, and we'll run it back and hope and pray our opponent does not have access to the card Wear and Tear, because I think that's probably about the worst thing that could happen to us. Counterbalance, huh? You're going crazy over there. Well, we have turn 1 Saga Amulet, so assuming our opponent doesn't have freaking Wear and Tear or like Alpine Moon or some crazy sideboard card they would have to put in their sideboard specifically for us, I think this is an easy turn 3 win, so I guess we have to be wary of Deflecting Palm perhaps, but we're definitely keeping this. Swift Spear. Untap green source, please. Untap green. Not quite. Not quite. Swift Spear on turn 1 is one of their scarier starts, I will say. There's a possibility that thing kills us. Double Swift Spear is definitely a scary opening. Yeah. I think we would be massively favored here if we were on the play, but since we're on the draw, it's a little bit closer. Now we have a choice. We can Grazer down Gruul Turf, so we can play Gruul Turf, Grazer down the Saga again, and the next turn we'll have 5, 6. We still have Titan next turn even without the second Amulet, but if we're not killing them then we might be having problems. Like, we could just pass and float a mana, and then during our third turn, Bounce Land Grazer, Bounce Land Titan, we'd have 2 floating, so we couldn't double Titan them, so we can't play around Path if we do that. Well, maybe we could if we packed it for a Zeus up. I mean, we'd probably still get owned by Deflecting Palm, though. I kind of think we have no choice but to get the Grazer and play it and try not to die to Prowess triggers. So, rest in peace, Saga value, but, I mean, I suppose we could Growth Chamber, Grazer, Growth Chamber, activate Saga, then pick up the Saga. That would be 4, 5. We'd be short on mana in that scenario, so interesting. I think I'd rather have 1 Grazer as a blocker and a guaranteed Titan this upcoming turn. I guess we could also just play Grazer for 0 value here. Interesting. So, let's see. If we pick this up, Grazer back into play, we have 3, 4, 5, 6 Titan. I think that's probably the best option. I guess we could potentially also pack for Krasis. I don't know. It's a complicated turn. I think we're supposed to just go ahead and get Grazer and land into play and give up on the extra token value. This also plays around them having like Shattering. I was gonna say Shattering Speed, but they usually play a different one, the 2-mana one that does us 3 damage. I forget what it's called at the moment though. Imagine if we had Crumbling Vestige. Would be so nice. And we have Titan next turn, so we have a blocker in play. Feeling good about our spot. We don't necessarily win next turn, but that's only because we didn't happen to draw the extra non-bounce land. We have 4 bounce lands, so I would say this is not our average draw, but this is the kind of draw that would make Radiant Fountain look good. We might just be fine here, though. Definitely, absolutely taking this block every day. Take as little damage as possible. Hopefully our opponent misses their 3rd land drop. Not something I like to wish upon opponents, but in this case, we kind of need that to work out in our favor, you know? They charm us. Yep, so we just gain 2 life from our Arboreal Grazer. And 2 bolts will now kill us. Sunhome is a draw that we can draw. I guess Titan's going to be a blocker for us, too. So our opponent is not making us play around Deflecting Palm or Path to Exile here, which is very kind of them. Picking up Saga here, I think. We'll pack. Probably just want another Grazer here, to be honest. Could be Azusa. I think Grazer has a higher likelihood of surviving, though. Like, through blocks, perhaps. I think our opponent might be priced into attacking here. Yep, this is definitely one of those games where having a single Radiant Fountain would have dramatically improved our chances, but Game 3 will be on the play anyways, so... Definitely take our free attack here. So, perhaps Bounce and Tolaria West is the choice here. We definitely want Tolaria West in case they kill our Titan with a Path or something. Assuming we get to untap in the first place. If we get Bounce and T-West, we have 4, 5, 6 by playing a land. We can transmute, pack for Dryad, play Dryad, or just play Sunhome and kill them, depending. Probably planning to play around Deflecting Palm is a good idea, depending. Like, they could just have a bunch of dead sideboard cards in their hand, so... And of course, we can't, like, transmute our Tolaria West right now because it's at sorcery speed. So, can't do that this turn. Yep, so let's just hope they don't have double bolt and Dryad instead of Grazer. See, so if we had double Amulet, that would be possible because if we play a Dryad and then play a Bounce Land afterwards, we get to double float and make 4 mana, so it's actually plus mana. But in this particular case, we needed to go from 5 to 6 mana, but on a single Amulet, paying 3 to play a Dryad and then playing a Bounce Land after and only making 2 mana is actually putting you down a mana. So if we had packed for Dryad, then we would have been short on mana to cast Titan. We would have only had 4. So this is kind of the only real option here. Our opponent goes Land Blood Moon. How about it? Rift Bolt. I think we're good, y'all. I think we're good. Did they suspend double Rift Bolt? Is that what just happened? Whew. Let's not lose the game, and then we'll win the game. How about that? I think our opponent's pretty dead here. Definitely say yes to that one. Explorer, that's value. Just routine things happening here, you know. Don't worry about it. Now we can get the Dryad and kill our opponent with Valakut. See, the deck just knows what the viewer wants. The viewers say kill with Valakut, and the deck says, okay, bet. If I don't click through my attack, that is. Say yes to this one. Get a couple Valakuts and send a couple Lightning Bolts our opponent's way and see how they like it. Like, oh, you want to burn me? How about I burn you instead? Bang. Fireworks straight up top. Yeah. Pretty good. Pretty good stuff. So that means that we are now 2-0. And I think I have it in me to play one more match here. It's starting to get kind of late, and I've got some important exams and stuff this week, so I'll probably have to stop the stream after this match and finish it at a later date. But regardless, we'll be in here for match 3. So, all right, be on the play here. Dude, on the play 3 times in a row. I'll take that kind of luck, but we definitely on the lucky side here. This hand, I'm not really feeling it, though. I guess we go Saga, Valakut, get Amulet, play Azusa, and have like a Cultivator on turn 4. I don't know, I hate this. I'm mulliganing it. I hate everything about it. Thank you for the kind words, I appreciate it. This hand's pretty good. I mean, it doesn't have Amulet. It's not like super fast, but I'm a sucker for turn 2 Explorer, so what can I say? Definitely keeping this one, though. Nearly have Titan mana already without Amulet, so definitely keeping this. Cavern could be really good if we're playing against a opponent with counterspells, so probably keeping that one as a hedge makes sense. I think Sunhome is the easiest bottom, so we'll make that one disappear. Yes, play out Misty in case our opponent happens to be playing a Blood Moon deck and we top deck Vesuva and can copy basic force like a boss. Watery Grave. Probably not good news. Oh no, it's Mill. That means it's terrible news. Well, now we probably just lose. We've run into the horrendous matchup that we never want to see. Man, I gotta fetch now, just because our opponent's least likely to have Archive Trap now than later, since they have only 6 cards. Every draw gets them closer to potentially popping off Archive Traps on us, so they're pausing here, which makes me think they probably have it. No? Whew. Dodged a bullet. Now we will never have to search again until we're putting a Titan into play. Oh, even then, we may not have to search. We can always play a Titan and elect not to search. Depends on if we're on a Summoner's Pact angle. Although, since we're playing the one Colossus, Mill is a matchup where it matters, since they might be able to surgical our Titan, so get to some green mana here. Play Explore. No Titan. Not really what we want to see, but that's okay. Interesting. I think actually playing the Sanctuary might have been a mistake, because they could have Field of Ruin, and I can't talk today. Visions of Beyond. We love to see that. If they're casting this because they haven't hit a second land drop yet, oh my. It's too good to be true, guys. We'll play Azusa, Forest, Crumbling Vestige, or maybe Forest Sanctuary. I can't really tell. I guess we could just play Forest. We want to keep the Cavern in case we top deck a non-Titan threat. I mean, honestly, there's really no way they could punish us. I guess they could have Fetch Land, mill us up to 8, and then have Drown the Lock on, if they hit their land drop here. So, like, probably holding Cavern in case we need it is a good idea. The question is, do we put the Sanctuary in play or not? I think not, in case we are setting up Valakut triggers somehow. Crumbling Vestige is a potentially precious blue source. We could play Vestige, Bounce Land Vestige, and be able to transmute a T-West if we were to draw it, for example. Them not hitting their land drops is great for us, but sadly we have nothing going. Absolutely nothing. Honestly, I think at this point, I was going to say not playing lands is probably the right choice, but then I went and played a Forest, and I don't think I even should have played this for us, so. Fetch land would suddenly mill us for like a billion. Yeah. It was bound to happen eventually, you know. Oh, no Titans hit yet. They hit our Slayers and Sunhome. Sure. Map. Well, I guess we're playing and cracking that and getting T-West and then transmuting T-West. And getting Summoner's Pact. Maybe even casting Summoner's Pact to do all this in one turn just so they can't Archive Trap us. I think we need to get Urza's Saga. I guess if we transmute for Summoner's Pact, that could potentially surgical our Summoner's Pact and force us to cast it in response, but, you know. If it's gotta be that way, it's gotta be that way. Yep, we'll transmute this. Probably don't want to cast Summoner's Pact, just in case they were to surgical extract our Titan and we need to go looking for the Colossus. I don't know. Every game against Mill is just always looking rough, so I guess they could just, like, surgical Summoner's Pact right now. Oh my goodness, it lagged and I clicked and got a land. Well, that's great. Oops. Not how it was meant to be. Yeah, well, there goes our chance at winning game 1 against our stumbling opponent. Now we probably just lose. What were you saying about me being way better at Modern than you? This is just proof that that's not true. More crabs. Oof. Oh, Boro as well. Yeah. I think I'm willing to just go ahead and move on to game 2 here. Sad times, but I know when I've been beat. Well, against Mill, we want extra threats. Although, honestly, Krasis is not that great against them. It doesn't kill that fast. We want Dismembers for their crabs. We want Endurance because we can reshuffle our own stuff for value. Bog is actually good against them. Cavern is good against them. Yeah, all of this is good against them, so I'm just going to hit Submit. 68 cards. Playing a little bit of a special against Mill here. Oh, wait, I could add one more card, for the meme of it. I don't think I want to, though, to be honest. I don't think I want the third copy of Krasis. It's not the best draw. It's there as a backup threat in case we were to get this milled and this surgicaled, pretty much. So, on the play, of course. Well, we have no untapped land sources, so we'll mulligan. Yep, this hand's decent. Probably bottoming Sanctuary. Decide in all. I mean, come on, though. You're telling me that you really want freaking dead Force of Vigors and Engineered Explosives and Boseiju in your deck? Why would you do that to yourself? You don't want to draw that. Probably bottoming Sanctuary here. I think that we're going to need this Talari West potentially, so we could just Grazer out Talari West immediately. I guess probably not. There's a chance that we want to Grazer out a Titan later on in the game if we were to just top deck it or something. So we'll just play turn 1 Amulet. Next turn we'll play the slow Talari West game, and then turn 3 we'll have 6 mana thanks to the double Grazer just like chilling here. So Force of Vigor is good because they can play Bridge. I mean, I guess. If they have Bridge, that's great for them, I guess. I'm not going to try to beat Bridge. Right now I'm just trying to beat Mill. Good versus Lantern. Oh, like, so that, if they're trying to Lantern to stop our Endurances. I mean, that's reasonable, don't get me wrong. I don't know. I'm not trying to play around anything at this point. I'm just trying to get to a fast Titan if at all possible. You might be right. I don't know. I feel like the feels bad of top decking a Force when it doesn't do anything, whereas if you had, like, not sided them in and then all of a sudden have no threats, I don't know. Hey, we hit the Titan. So we can play Land, Grazer, pick up Cavern, play Cavern on Giant just to play around main board counterspell. Probably a decent idea. We'll throw out a Grazer, I suppose. Fractured Sanity. Well, I guess we don't need to play around counterspell now. Opponent didn't hit. Oh, they hit Titan. No, this is the worst scenario. They haven't cast Surgical yet. Maybe they're just waiting. Well, now we're definitely keeping Growth Chamber in hand so we can transmute Talariwas if all goes south. So, also, if our opponent does not have Surgical here, then they're just dead because we can Valakut them. So that's cool, I guess. They seem to be F6. Imagine if this was a Force of Vigor that we top decked instead of a Titan. Just gotta rub it in your face a little bit, you know. I might not be wrong, but I'm gonna. My bad. I might not be right, but I am sure as heck I'm gonna act like I'm right. Well, yep. Now we're transmuting, I guess. Are we doing that this turn though? I mean, we're not stopping the Surgical, so. Next turn we'll have 6/7 mana. I mean, yeah, this Surgical did ruin our day. Did you see the smile just disappear completely from my face? Well, if we float up to 7, Grazer up to 8, transmute leaving 5, we could play a Krasis for 3. Probably not the play. I mean, I guess, yeah, I guess we're just getting destroyed here and picking up Bounce Land and saying, you got me. I don't know that this is a winning play either, but honestly, I don't think we have any great winning plays here. I think the most winning play is just hope we top deck really well. I guess we could potentially try to top deck a Bounce Land as well, but I don't know. Now we're playing into Drown in the Lock. Sad times. Although I guess we already have Karen on Beast, so if we were to go for Colossus, that's a factor. So we have 6, 7, 8. 8 mana, which is 1 short. Although, I say 1 short as if we have a 6-drop to cast. Well, 6, 7, 8, transmute 5. We're still in the same situation as last time, so I guess we're just passing. I mean, we're attacking, obviously, but... We could, at some point, transmute Talariwas for Valakut if we had to, but I feel like that's, like, a million years away, so... Like, right now, our... Oh, I guess we could have gone for an Endurance, perhaps. Keep that in our back pocket, I think. They hit a Krasis, oh no. Pasha's. Yeah, this is feeling pretty good games to me. Well, we drew Sunhome. Maybe putting a Flying Krasis and just double striking it is our route to victory here. We only have 23 cards left, so we could be dead very soon, so I don't think we really have a choice. If we pack here, we need to be able to pay for it. Yeah, I don't know. We kind of don't have any good options. 6. So we play this. We play Simic. Grazer and Simic twice. That's 5, 6, 7. Transmute, play Krasis on 2. I mean, that's not winning any games, right? Do we even play the Sunhome? I think we have to. 8. Yeah, we have to be able to transmute for... I mean, we're still another land away from getting a Colossus into play. I just don't really know how we're winning this game. I guess we could Endurance ourselves and gain twice as much time. Yeah. I think that's the play. Do it now while our opponent doesn't have Lantern in play or anything like that. And then Dryad is going to be fixing our mana so we don't just lose immediately. Also, I mean, I guess we're losing the land, drown the lock on Dryad if our opponent sees it, but we really don't have any options here. Assuming we still have Summoner's Pact left, by the way. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but we'll see. Or Endurances. We don't have Endurances left either. Well, we'll go for the Saga plan, I guess, or bog ourselves. I don't know. This is feeling just super lost. We could get another bounce land, I suppose. Then be for bounce land. Hope to top deck Colossus or Krasis or something. Don't think we have enough time for Valakut. This is probably just another lost game, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what we do here. Guess we have a couple bounce lands to draw, so potentially we could put a Colossus in play and try to win that way. Stronghold does 2 damage a turn. That doesn't really do enough. I guess we're just getting packed here and hoping. Oh. No more Endurances left either. No good attacks. Might be Scoop Phase. Archive Trap. Definitely Scoop Phase. Well, that was not really a match, but honestly, I'm glad it's over, so now that means we are 2-1. And though I said I would probably quit after this, that match went pretty quick, and I'm ready to play a real match of Magic, so let's just jump in here for match 4, and then I'll probably save the last match for later. How about that? Everyone who's been watching from the beginning would hate that. Won't stop me, though. Playing against Dramog. Oof, we get to turn 1 Grazer, turn 2 Explorer. Sign me up. Sign me up. Mold 5. Our opponent's playing Tron, confirmed. Mulligan 4, definitely Tron. 100% our opponent is going to play turn 1 Urza's Mine or Urza's Power Plant. They never play Tower on turn 1. Although, if we're really lucky, they'll play turn 1 Forest. I don't think there's any other deck. Maybe Boggles, if that deck still exists, that would mold a 4. Wooded Foothills. What is Wooded Foothills? Saga's a fantastic draw, by the way. Wooded Foothills. I'm not hallucinating, right? Steam. Sacred Foundry? Is this blue-red or Jeskai Breach? Okay. I mean, the safest thing to do here is just activate Saga and try to get there that way. So I guess we'll go down that plan. We have Cavern on Giant to play through Counterspell, so might as well get some Saga value, I guess. In case they have... I don't know. Breach is scary. Well, for most decks, but for Amulet, Breach is actually a pretty good matchup, in my experience. So, opponent is passing. A good sign. They don't have Counterspell mana up, but even if they were planning to remand us, that ain't gonna work. If they were playing, like, Creativity and just happen to look like a Jeskai deck right now. I mean, to be fair, they are playing Wooded Foothills, so it probably is a Creativity deck now I think about it. I mean, we're definitely slamming Titan, though. They could have Ice, I guess, to tap our Titan, but that's not really the end of the world now. Yep. So we'll just, we'll get in there. They don't have the possibility of Unholy Heating us, so if we Grazer, we can leave a white floating and face off of Valakut, so technically they could counter Grazer and blow us out, but Oh, wait. That might just be factually incorrect. I think maybe we need Grazer to get to Titan Mana here anyways. I miscounted a little bit. 5, 6. Yeah, we had to Grazer to get the Titan here anyways, so I guess now we're putting in Simic, leaving our blue in play for Polaria West. I was gonna get Valakut value. Alas, not the move. So I'm not make shorts. I do not make shorts. Is that something that you would like to see? Like, what does a Magic short even look like? Like, just like little clips of amazing moments from the games I've played, or like just short content about stuff that's happened? Oh, and we win. Okay. Our opponent is playing Steam Vents, Sacred Foundry, and Wooded Foothills, and that's the information we have. We've been making shorts, and they perform awesome. I didn't know that you had a channel. You should drop your stuff in the chat, and maybe I'll take a look at it. Yeah, I mean, shorts are probably a good thing to do, but to be honest, I'm not like a full-time streamer or YouTuber or anything like that. I just do this for fun, so I don't know why I brought in Hydroid Krasis. I guess just subconsciously I like the idea of it, but I'm assuming our opponent is on creativity here, as I think that's the only thing that makes Wooded Foothills make sense. So I guess we want Boseiju in case they have Chalice or like I don't know. Chalice or Leyline Binding is a thing that they could have. I don't think we want Force for that, but so I guess that's another reason to bring in Boseiju. And Explores a little slow against them. Yeah, if they were on the black version and potentially had Necromentia, then leaving the Colossus in could be interesting, but CEDH deck tech. Bite-sized bits of tech for Titan. I could see that. Yeah, I'm just going to run it this way. Got the double. We have turn 2 double Titan. This hand is so rare. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Definitely keeping this. I know what is going to be the catch for the opening of this video. Whew. This is some spicy stuff right here. Hopefully our opponent doesn't just remand us out of this world. Saga. What is the likelihood we play Saga and just get blown out? I mean, we're just winning on turn 2 here, so the Saga doesn't even matter. And saving the Saga means that we can later, like if we need to pivot and play around the counterspell or remand or something, then we have Saga as a backup, I guess. Probably creativity, I would think. Oh, and now they're just Tome Scour themselves. Prize Amalgam, Ancient Grudge. So it's Dread. Oh, that makes sense with the Mulligans. Well, we cut Bog, but we're also just killing them this, like, in 2 seconds. So, they grudged our Amulet. Rude. It's Dredge, and we cut Bog. Well, I guess we'll just have to win anyways, huh? Yeah. If we want a double pact, we can cast Titan next turn, but, yeah. Getting punished for not playing out Saga on one, I guess. Now we know that it's Dredge, though. Dredge probably made sense based off of the Mold 4. I think it would have been a good choice to play around Dredge, but luckily we have Endurances and Bog, so, you know. Tome Scour out of Dredge, by the way. It's not one I have seen recently. Are they playing Tome Scour now? Yeah, I mean, the lands and the fetch, it looked like creativity to me, but I think it's more likely a deck like Dredge would mold 4 than creativity, so old list. Thrilling Discovery. No? Well, yeah, I don't know. I can't think of a time when Dredge played Tome Scour, to be completely honest. They had Narcomoebas in hand. That is unfortunate. I was like, why are these Narcomoebas not triggering? Oops. 2019. I did not know that they ever played Tome Scour. That's crazy. Well, we're just going to Titan them next turn, so that's cool. Wait, let me double check. I don't think there's any way we could possibly pay for 2 Summoners packs here. Oh, don't want to auto yield to this because we're getting another Amulet next turn. Well, oh, Here's Dryad. Here's Simic, activate Saga, and pass. I'll let the yield stay for now, and then I'll get rid of it when we're when it's time to go. So our turn 2 Titan with double amulet, or double Titan with double amulet, turned into a turn 4 double Titan with double amulet. I'm okay with it. I think that's something I'm willing to handle, to deal with, you know. Didn't last, but they played it for the Faithful Student. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I got amalgams for days. Another reunion, perhaps? Oh, they found a dredger, finally. And they're doing some stuff. But I think they're just dead, so... Probably the Valakut triggers, if not anything else. Alright, well, we'll float a white here, because we're going to want to try to leave some white floating and haste off Valakut if at all possible. Gonna kind of anticipate for that. Hit 5 to make sure we have no auto yields, and let's just put some Titans into play. How about that? Float a white here as well, I guess. Just leave our bounce land in play if at all possible for max value. And we win the match. Well, I mean, I said I wanted to play a real match, but what we actually got was this. But I can't complain about it, because I'm pretty happy for that as well. So, well, I guess that means that we are now 3-1. Should I just play the last match? I don't know. It's a little later than I wanted to stay up, but it's only one match. All right, I'm gonna do it. See if we can get this 4-1 or 3-2. I should let y'all know I am happy with either result, by the way. The results are not what matters to me. What matters to me is the learning and the fun of it, and getting to interact with some of you guys, whether it's in the chat here or in the chat or in the comments down on YouTube. Obviously, we're keeping a turn 3 Titan, so, I mean, I guess it's not quite a turn 3 Titan. We still need to top deck a land drop to play. But, you know, naming Dryad here in case we somehow need to get our Dryad to stick. I don't know. Probably doesn't matter what we name. Can't walk away and come back cold. Spirebluff Canal. Okay. Ragavan. So playing against Murktide. Well, I mean, we've got Hydroid Krasis for this matchup. Explore. Probably leading off on some Explore cycling to see if we can hit the land off the top. Gambler mentality. No. We're playing this match because I felt like it and I had the time. I honestly thought that, I mean, we play against some matchups that are pretty quick, whether they're good for us or for our opponent or whatever. So I would love to hit this land drop and have turn 3 Titan. That would be great. But all right, one time land. That is not a land, but it does let us cast Titan this upcoming turn if we pack for a +1 ramp spell, I'm pretty sure. So we have 5, 6, yeah. Assuming our opponent doesn't counter things, we'll make our Dryad uncounterable for value. Yeah, Murktide is not great news for us because it's not historically a great matchup for Amulet, but... And, I'm going to play Sanctuary just in case I've miscounted like an idiot and there's actually another land drop and we could get a second Dryad into play, but I don't think that's the case, but never hurts to double check, you know. Yep, no land drop. Okay. Sad. If our opponent attacks, is it even worth blocking? That is the question. I think it probably is. They could bolt or heat our Dryad here and like get rid of it, but they're probably holding out Counterspell this upcoming turn anyways, and if they counter our Grazer or Zeus or whatever we get off pack, then we just die anyways, so maybe we can't afford to go for Titan this upcoming turn anyways, so might as well try to take this free Ragavan if they don't have the removal spell. Also stops them from just slamming a Magus, I guess. Yep, here's the... Oh, Channeler. Okay. I mean, they might still have the removal spell. they do. That's fine. We have a second Dryad where that one came from, so. And if we draw a second Amulet, we just get to destroy them, so. Second Amulet, definitely best draw. I'll take another bounce land. We were looking for a land, and this is, other than Basic Forest, this might be the best land that we could have top decked, so we'll get this into play. Put a Cavern down, naming Giant, of course. And we have mainboard Bog, so we have ways to interact with this matchup here, so. I guess putting the Simic Growth Chamber into play makes it obvious we have another land drop, but, like, because they know we have Sanctuary from last turn. But, I mean, oh well. Tolaria West. That's my excuse for everything. Tolaria West. Iteration. Our opponent is very dead. Unless they happen to have mainboard Subtlety, our opponent is super dead. Whew. Love to see that, for sure. That's great news for home team. I guess they could have Unholy Heat. Interesting. We have 7, 8 if we pack Titan, leaving 2 floating, get double bouncing. We could play double Titan here if we choose to Summoner's Pact, I think. And that plays around Unholy Heat pretty well. Land Heat. Okay. I mean, they might have the Heat in hand. They just had to find whatever the missing piece was. Like, if they had the land but needed the Heat, they could put the Heat into their hand and we wouldn't see that. So if we play bounce land that's 6, 7, pack for Grazer, that's 8, play Titan leaving 2 floating, get double bounce land, play second Titan. I'm pretty sure we can just kind of stomp out our opponent's ability to actually interact with us here. I mean, I'm game. Also, if they had Heat, they probably should have hit the Dryad by now. So maybe putting them on the no Heat read makes the most sense, but maybe it's right to not even attack as well. That's very possible. Like, maybe we play Titan into second Titan and just get double force so we can't lose to mainboard Magus or Blood Moon. Because that might be the only way we're realistically losing this game. Definitely want the Sanctuary in hand, I think. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, the math works out. Leave 2, get double bounce, and this should be good. I guess they could Spell Pierce us, in which case we just slam Titan and haste, so we're pretty happy with that, I guess. Get the Grazer for sure. This would be a dangerous play if they had Dress Down up, by the way, but they don't, so we're Gucci. We're about to get a bunch of bounce lands, so probably just picking up the Cavern makes sense. I would really like to be able to bog our opponent at the end of the sequence, I think. But, I mean, that makes us lose to Magus, potentially. I don't know, it's rough. Get random 2 bounce lands that tap for green. Let's leave the Sanctuary in play in case we want to double strike next turn, something off Sunhome. Well, we resolved 2 Titans on turn 4, so that's pretty good. They don't main deck Moonfest. Sometimes they do. They sometimes do. That's the thing. Like, the absolute safest play, and I don't think we can lose if we do this, is to just get double force. And I think that's what I'm going to do, actually. They have to answer 2 Titans and Dryad here, and we have another Titan ready to go. So, like, I just don't want to lose the Blood Moon here. I'm not even going to bother attacking or trying to bog them. I don't think it matters. We're so far ahead that we can play to not lose here, rather than just go straight for the combat. Like, if they were to heat Titan on inter-combat phase and then untap and, like, Blood Moon us or something, that would be just tragic when we're otherwise just insta-winning this game, you know? No reason to lose a game that's totally avoidable to lose. Oh, they fetched Basic Island too, so they might have the Blood Moon, you know? They might actually have it. If they fetch second island and play Blood Moon here, I'll feel so gratified. Oh no. Oh my. No way. Oh. Oh my gosh, and we played around it. That's, I just feel proud. That's all I can say. Now we're not losing a completely winnable game. Let's not block, actually. Okay. Okay. I see how it is. That's probably one of the most impressive moments I've ever had in Magic. I have to admit, I feel very strong after that. We actually get to play a second Titan here, by the way. If we get to attack with both of these, we go land, get like a bunch of lands here. Yep. What can I say? This one's definitely going on YouTube. Oh, they had the heat too. Dude, I play around it all. I played around everything. Oh my. Imagine if they went heat, untap, Blood Moon. Because they could have had that. Well, we're swinging out for sure. Can't play Titan this turn because we did get heated once, but... Man, it's a good thing I didn't get tempted by the bog value as well. So we'll get some forests. Of course. We can still draw Tolaria West or Boseiju at any point in time and get this Blood Moon out of play, so... Look, I would say I can't believe it, but the truth is, I played around it, so, like, I can definitely believe it. In fact, you might even say that I anticipated it. I think we're probably not supposed to play lands here in case we top deck Cultivator, so... I think I probably want to put Grazer into play, though. We have 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we even already have enough to cast Titan, so... let's just not put lands into play. I mean, this game is still not over, because they could kill our remaining Titan, counterspell our upcoming Titan, and then things get awkward from there, but... Our opponent's playing a really good game. Mill over a bobble, of course, of course. Classic forced attack. I still don't feel like throwing a Grazer under the rug, to be honest. These things are blocking Ragavans and blocking much bigger hits from a Murktide, perhaps, so... They're holding up Counterspell, but they have only 2 cards. Do we just slam the Titan anyways? I mean, one thing's for sure is we're going to combat first, so... Yep. They probably have the Counterspell or Dress Down, but Dress Down I don't care about. The only thing I care about is Counterspell. I think it's unlikely they have it at this point. Like, if we wait, we're just giving them more time to draw it. So, like, we kind of don't have a choice but to slam Titan, but they're probably going to have Counterspell here, and again, we'll be sad. The one time I wish I wasn't right. Three more turns of hitting them for 2. And we'll get there. Oh no, iteration is really bad for us. We need to top deck threat immediately. We need this Cultivator Colossus tomorrow. Not tomorrow, today. We need it today. I don't know why I said tomorrow. I've ruined my own joke. Tragic. See, this is just proof I'm not a professional, you know? I mean, honestly, if I can't top deck a Titan, then, like, honestly, I'm actually hoping for Cultivate here. But I was gonna say, if I can't top deck Titan, that means that I just haven't practiced Amulet Titan enough. You really gotta develop those top decking skills, you know? Oh, the stone walls are 2/4. Rude. Still not blocking, I don't think. Next turn I will block, but for now we can chill. Alright. One-time Cultivator Colossus, let's go. Please. That is not a Cultivator Colossus deck. Man, I think now we're actually losing, so play this Grazer and pass. Let's put a fetch land in play. We need to have a 7th land in order to get to Colossus anyways, so not swinging. Sad. I mean, we still have an extra 3 turns of chump blockers at this point. And they have some dead draws. They could top deck Archmage's Charm, I guess is like the only actual dead draw for them, so yep. We played around the Blood Moon, and we might still just be getting bodied by it, unfortunately. Have to block now so they can't double bolt us to death. Oh, they're tapping their blue. This gives us another window. Oh, this is a Murktide, though. That's... I mean, because we haven't been blocking with these Grazers, it's not as much of a problem as it would otherwise have been, so that's why I wasn't blocking. You're about to see it in action, and we're about to rip that Colossus. I'm feeling it. Colossus off the top. Let's go one time. Someone just packed Colossus. I'll take it all. One time. Come on. We're just not getting there. We're not getting there. Tragic. At this point, even if we were to kill the Blood Moon, it wouldn't actually do anything, so very sad. I think I am keeping the extra Grazer around and accepting a loss to double bolt here. Just so we can get another turn by chump blocking the Murktide, so. Second Blood Moon, huh? Okay. I don't even know if Colossus wins. Come on. Well, I mean, that's actually another turn, so. Sort of. Still can't attack. I still have to say, I'm proud of how this game is played out. Despite the fact that we're losing to Blood Moons here and not drawing threats, like, that's just how it goes. I think that the most important part was playing around it in the beginning so we had a chance to win. Because that's what bad matchups like this are about, is giving yourself the best chance to win with Amulet. You have to know how to do that properly, so. Titan. Solari West. I don't think that does it. We can get a Titan into play, but we just don't have enough blockers. It's a Titan, but, like, we're dying in the air to all of these things. I don't think there's anything we can actually transmute for here. It'll pull up. Can't transmute for Colossus because we don't have the green for it. Yeah, Boseiju. Yeah, but the thing is, if we Boseiju, we have nothing else. So, like, if we had Valakut in hand, then we'd be able to play Valakut land and win, but we don't. So we just lose. And you know what? That's okay. Let's get them in the next game. How about that? That Murktide was a great top deck. Although they were bound to draw it eventually, so, you know, it is what it is. But, all right. In this matchup, we want the Krasis. We want the Boseiju. Not a big fan of explosives here, I don't think. We want endurances. We saw multiple Blood Moons, so Force is actually reasonable. If it was Magus, we wouldn't bring in Force. But because they probably play 2 Blood Moon, 2 Magus, we want to bring in Dismembers anyways. They also help us deal with turn 1 Ragavan, so Tram Explore. Colossus, because it's bad against Dress Down. If we got Valakut, it doesn't do anything because the Blood Moon makes it a blank piece of cardboard that only taps for red, so against them, we also want to trim all of our Sagas because of the obvious Blood Moons that we literally just lost to, so we'll do that. Right. Trim a Summoner's Pact since we have threats for days. Azusa's not great, it just dies to removal, so I like to trim Azusa typically here. Garenbrig does nothing since we're probably going to be relying on Cavern Souls pretty heavily. I guess it's just Explorers as well. We have Krasis for redraws, so we're probably good. Alright, we'll do better this time. Turn on Grazer. I'll take it. Is map good? Yes, because even though we're cutting all the sagas, we still want as many copies of Cavern Souls as possible, so... I mean, this is kind of a weird hand, but I definitely want to keep it. Bounce land would be great for this hand. That's really all I have to remark on this hand. Play Grazer on one here, get this TOS into play. This TOS might turn itself into a Cavern of Souls at some point in time in this match. Not impossible. And we have Boseiju to pick up with a bounce land if we feel like playing around Blood Moon. Are we playing Dryad this upcoming turn? Maybe. Especially if we draw land. Bounce land. One time. Let's go. Oh, they said it's a good one. Oh, second Amulet. Honestly, oh, it's not really that great. It would be great if we had a bounce land instead of this Vestige, but we don't. We play Amulet. Next turn, we'll have 5 mana. well. I mean, we're not doing it, so we'll do it. I think we're supposed to pass. We can top deck land and then play Dryad, and then turn 4 play Vestige into Titan. Or if we top deck bounce land, we can just play Titan. So I feel like our best play is to pass here. This lets us turn any land into a turn 4 Titan if we hold the Vestige. Although it means that we're not casting Dryad this turn, but, you know, is what it is. We're starting to get into the, oh, please do not have Blood Moon kind of territory. Our Boseiju's in play, sadly. Did they just tap out for Expressive Iteration? They gotta have Subtlety. That's the only explanation here. They have to have Subtlety. Otherwise, that's just wrong. I mean, we have double Amulet. Like, I mean, maybe they just, like, put us on not having lands here or something because we didn't play a land drop there, but, like, it's very possible our hand is bounce land double Titan or something like that, and we just didn't have the ability to do it that turn. This is super risky from our opponent if they don't have the Subtlety. So I'm definitely putting them on Subtlety here. Alright, well, that land lets us play Titan this upcoming turn, and it also gets us a basic forest, which is not understated. Not understated at all. Now, are we playing Dryad into Blood? That's an interesting question. Because if we play Dryad after Blood Moon, we can still cast Titan next turn regardless. I think saving the Dryad for after a Blood Moon effect so we can turn all of our lands back into actual colored sources is probably better, so we'll wait. Dude, they almost just lost the game. If that was a bounce land off the top, they would have lost. They have to have Subtlety, right? They know I have it? Yeah, I mean, what are they going to do about it, though? What if I was floating for Endurance? Did you ever think of that? What if I was going to play Ensnaring Bridge? Yeah, we're still keeping Grazer around Stonewall Ragavans and save us more points from Murktide later on. Now they're holding up Counterspell. Titan does play Bridge sometimes when you're playing Karn. Well, now we're in the staring contest of they have Counterspell and I have Titan, but neither of us wants to tap out here. Well, I mean, I guess just like Valcut Pass makes sense. So we're going to do that. Yes, we're taking 3 damage every turn, but the alternative is losing the game immediately to Counterspell, so Nah, I'm just passing. They obviously have Counterspell or Archmage's Charm, so... Still not blocking. I can play this game of chicken until the last possible second. Shock and seems 100% subtlety. 100% this is a subtle. Oh, endurance is very nice, though. They're not going to be expecting this one. Now they have to have double Counterspell, or they're losing their DRC and then losing the Titan, so... Endurance is a fantastic one. And we haven't cast it at all since we didn't have it, so our opponent's probably just gonna... I mean, they're forced to attack here anyways, but they may not even be expecting it. This makes their Murktides and their Unholy Heats worse. It forces them to tap some mana. Everything about this is good. And people say this card is not that good against them. Don't listen. Never listen. Counterspell. Very fair of you to say. I perfectly understand that. And now we're yielding to the turn. And probably slamming Titan into second Counterspell / dress down / subtlety and losing on the spot. Or I guess we could just be more patient and continue to wait to try to draw Cavern of Souls. I don't know. It's getting a little tight here. Tap land. So now they don't have Archmage's Charm. I mean, I'm going to force them to have it. Force the Vigor. That lets us actually play around Blood Moon sneakily, so that's a good one. Hit 5, so we're not untapping to amulets without having flowed the mana. Float a white here, I guess, in case we want to be able to haste. I mean, I am definitely going to make them have it, so that's 6, 7. Oh, well, hold on. I guess we need to cast Pact first. We'll cast Pact. Because tapping first and then casting Pact and getting counterspelled and then not being able to hardcast Force would be a unfortunate mistake. So we could go for Krasis here, actually. Krasis for 5. Draw 2 cards. Stonewall's their DRC. Better against counterspell. And we don't even lose to Blood Moon if we go for this, because we do lose to Mages, though. I think Krasis might actually be better. Could also go for Endurance again, but I think it's Krasis. I actually think it's Krasis here. I almost forgot that we were playing Krasis. This is the whole point of the card, you know? It does exist. It's not fake. It's not great against Unholy Heat, but is what it is. Gain us almost a full Lightning Bolt's worth of health. Almost. How about the 3rd amulet? How about that? What do we think about this one? Bounce Land is great. It means our Dryad is an actual threat, so. Just gotta fade the Magus, you know? Dress Down, by the way, would actually kill our the Subtlety Krasis. That's just, I mean, with the Amulet too and the Bounce Land, they're about to give us so much free life and card draw. Like, man. Definitely topping this one. 100% topping this one. Oh, bang. Put that one right on top. I also called the Subtlety from the very start. I just want to say that. I said it would be there. I said it would be there, and it was, so. Definitely happy with my choice to go for Krasis. Iteration. It's probably a good sign. I assume they're looking for... Oh, wait, we don't want to yield through the turn here. We want to yield till instep. What was I going to say? They're probably looking for Blood Moon here, assuming that that'll win them the game. Not the case, opponent. Not the case. Actually, we probably shouldn't be yielding here at all, because if they were to play Fetch and, like, play Blood Moon and then, like, Fetch or something, we'd want to force in a response so they can't, like, Spell Pierce us. Live in their mind rent-free. They don't even know it. That's the funny thing, is they'll never know all the stuff I'm playing around. To them, it just looks like I'm playing Amulet Titan, and, you know. That's kind of the Amulet life, is sitting here thinking about how you almost had turn 2 Titan while your opponent's just like, what the heck are they doing? Like, what are they thinking about? Well, probably not blocking this thing. I mean, we can afford to block it now because we're going to put a Krasis into play most likely, but I mean, losing to double bolt, I guess there's no reason to lose to double bolt, so might as well block now, I think. Seems fine. They didn't have Counterspell, by the way, because if they had Counterspell, they probably would have used it on the Krasis. So, oh, they do have Ragavan. Got the spike emotes in chat, huh? Well, no Blood Moon is good. Gint Jutsu. Yep. It's always a good sign to be drawing Hydroid Krasis. We can play Gruul Turf, Amulet, Dryad, Gruul Turf, Krasis. 6/7. Krasis would be again for 5. Then we actually are weak to potential Blood Moons, though. We could play Amulet, Gruul Turf for 6, leave 3 floating, play Dryad, Gruul Turf float blue, and then another 2, 3, so that'd be 6 total. Or we could just play a mini Krasis for 3. I think it's probably right to be slamming Dryad here, though. And putting our Blood Moon shields down, because if they had it last turn, they most certainly would have played it, I think. Because otherwise, they might have just won the game if they played it. So if they top deck it, then they top deck it. So be it. Can't play around the top of their deck. I mean, you can, but I'm choosing not to at this particular juncture. Play an Amulet, see if they want to counter that. It's a very enticing one. You might want to counter that opponent. You never know how much damage Amulet of Vigor can do. Definitely casting Krasis, by the way. Or maybe not. Blue-red. Dress down. Oh, I mean, I guess we're not playing our second land drop, but okay. I am happy with this dress down. Dude, if we could play the land, we would still be able to kill something, but we've already used our first land drop this turn. Dress down does not stop the Dryad Valakut interaction because of layer 4 and layer 6 or something like that. I think it's 4 and 6. Are we blocking? I think probably. Actually, maybe not. Have they had a chance to cast a Lightning Bolt on us yet? That is the question. Now, they probably have access to Lightning Bolt here. Or on Holy Heat right now. Yeah, that's fine. Taking 5 down to 4. So we're dead to double bolt, I guess. And if we win this game, we still got to go to game 3 as well. Tragic. We get to play a massive Krasis this upcoming turn, though. I guess they could have double bolt here and we'd be dead. Exiled basic force off the top. That's kind of rude if you ask me, but, you know. If they were to cast a Blood Moon here, I think we would actually have to force it and then untap and hope to top deck a threat, so. Shockin' Siemens, so probably no Blood Moon. Oh, maybe they do have Blood Moon. They have Blood Moon. See, that's not very cash money of you to have Blood Moon here. That's not good for us. And they have Counterspell up to defend it, too. Well, now they don't. This is just awful, because now we just have to top deck a threat. Or a blue bounce land would probably let us do it, too. That would be 9 total. No, wait, it's more than 9. A blue bounce land does it. A Dryad probably does it. Right, okay. I mean, we probably still have lethal, but like if we top deck something, I think we have to force here. Our only chance is to actually find a threat off the top, so I went against my instinct. I mean, I think we had to play into the counterspell there. They bolt us. Dude, we're so close to being hyper dead. They have 0 cards now. Alright, threat off the top and we win. No threat and we lose. Living off the draw. Let's see, what is it? Oh. Stronghold. That one feels bad. But it is what it is. Not gonna make our opponent go to combat and hope they click through it. I ain't like that. Well, I guess that means that we are now 3-2. I mean, you say that about Force of Vigor, but at the same time, if we didn't have Force there, if we had anything else, we were literally just dead. There's nothing we could do there. Like, the only reason we were even able to possibly win that game is because we had Force. Anyways, just to kind of put a little bit of a closure on this, at least for the YouTube video, we ended up 3-2, and for the list, I don't know exactly that there's anything I would change. I've been testing Kura versus Krasis, and definitely Krasis looked a lot more impressive here. Although, it's possible Kura would have been just as good. I'd have to go back and view the game, but honestly, I mean, I think this is just your stock Amulet shell at this point. Probably the flex slots are explosives and third dismember, which I like having, by the way. I don't think I would change any of the sideboard. Maybe third Krasis. Like, these are the 3 cards in sideboard I would play with, and the main board just feels completely solid to me. So, like, some people like cut bounce land for a second Garen Break, and I can see that, but I don't know. I don't know what you want from me. It's just a standard good deck list. We lost to Mill, which was just a bad matchup, and then we lost against Murktide, which was another bad matchup, but, you know, a little luck in either direction would have influenced that match more severely, so I don't know. All in all, pretty good. So at least one Turn the Earth instead of all Endurance. I don't know. I don't love Turn the Earth, to be honest. It plays around Subtlety better against, like, Living End or something, but against almost every deck that I'm bringing in Endurance, part of the reason why I want Endurance is because of the 3/4 body and the fact that it can block flyers. I don't think that Endurance and Turn the Earth are really interchangeable. They're almost just like cards for completely different matchups. I will at least leave the video here. Thank you guys for watching. This is Redface Menace, signing off.